The Galactic Exchange Station floated silently in deep space, far beyond any human colony. It was a place for peace, trade, and research, a neutral zone shared by many alien species. Humans were the newest members here, most aliens still found them odd, unpredictable, and a little too bold. Myra, a young alien translator with soft blue skin and large eyes, worked at the station's eastern wing. She came from a race known for their calm nature and deep knowledge of languages. Her job was simple: help different species understand each other and avoid problems. She had seen many things on this station, but nothing had ever made her nervous. Until today, it was a quiet evening cycle. The corridor outside the ancient relic chamber was supposed to be empty. The chamber was off limits to everyone. It was an old device discovered on a dead world. No one knew exactly what it did. It's only that it was powerful and dangerous. Mira had just finished her shift and was passing by when she heard the door open with a soft hiss. She turned sharply. A human man stepped out of the restricted room. He was tall, with short black hair, tired eyes, and a calm face. He wore a simple technician uniform, nothing special. But he didn't look surprised to see her, just stood there, relaxed as if he belonged. Mira's voice was sharp and clear. "You came to the wrong room." The man looked at her and smiled. "I know," he said. Myra frowned. "Then why did you go in?" He didn't answer. He just walked past her slowly, hands in his pockets like it wasn't a big deal. She stared. After him, completely confused. Who was he? Later that night, Mira sat in her small quarters staring at the ceiling. She had reported the incident to security, but they couldn't find anything. The camera outside the relic room showed nothing. No human technician had entered the area. There was no record of the door opening, no sign of the man. Her report was noted and politely dismissed. Probably an error, they told her. Maybe a hallucination. Long hours can cause stress. But Myra knew. What she saw? The next day, she returned to the relic chamber. Everything looked normal, clean, silent, untouched. The relic itself sat on a platform in the center, dim and quiet. It was a strange shape, half orb, half cube, with symbols that no race could translate. Scientists had studied it for years, but it never responded. Some believed it was broken. Others thought it was asleep. Mira stood at the glass wall, staring at it, and then reflected in the glass. She saw him again, the human he was leaning against. The wall behind her, looking relaxed, like someone waiting for a friend. She turned quickly. "How did you get here?" He tilted his head. "Same way as yesterday. There's no record of you entering this section," she said. "Who are you?" "Name's Turan," he replied. "I'm just a repair guy." "You don't belong here." "Yeah," he said. "I hear that a lot." Mira stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Do you understand how serious this is? That room is sealed for a reason. You touched the relic?" "I didn't touch anything," he said calmly. "Just checking the room." "Why?" He looked at her, not like most humans did, with curiosity or excitement. His eyes were tired, sad maybe, like someone who had seen too much. "To make sure it doesn't wake up," he said. Mira blinked. "Wake up." A nodded. "That thing isn't dead. Sleeping. And soon it's going to open its eyes." "How do you know that?" "I've seen it before." She stared at him, heart beginning to race. "What do you mean before?" Torin didn't answer. He just gave a small smile and walked away. That night, Mira didn't sleep. She searched every record. No one named Toran was listed on the stations. Crew, no transfer logs, no visitor tags. It was as if he didn't exist. She considered reporting him again, but what could she say? A ghost with a name? The next day, she tried to find him. She asked around. No one had seen a human named Tyrone. She checked the engineering deck. No one by that name had worked there. She showed his description to a few human diplomats. No one recognized him. She even returned to the relic room and waited, but he didn't come. Maybe she had imagined it all. Maybe the following week something changed. The relic began to glow, faint at first, barely noticeable, a pulse of soft blue. Light, slow and steady. The scientists rushed to study it. The alien council called emergency meetings. Rumors spread fast. Was it turning on? Was it dangerous? Mira watched silently as panic began to grow. In the middle of the chaos, she heard a quiet voice behind her. "Told you," Torin said. She spun around. There he was again. This time she didn't ask how he got in. She just looked at him. "What? Is it?" she asked. "What's happening?" He looked through the glass at the relic. The glow reflected in his eyes. "It remembers," he said. "Remembers what?" "Another time. Another place. Another version of this station." Voice dropped. "What are you?" Torin gave a small, tired smile. "Just someone who doesn't want it to happen again." She swallowed. "And what did happen?" He looked at her, serious now. This station was destroyed. Everyone died. Not in this timeline, but in the last one. In the one before that. And the one before that. Her breath caught. "You're saying this has happened before?" "Many times. And you stop it?" "I try." He turned to leave, but she reached out. "Wait, what do I do?" He paused. "When the time comes," he said softly, "you'll..." "No." Then he disappeared into the corridor, leaving her standing in the quiet hum of the relic room, her thoughts spinning faster than light. Morning on Outpost 17 came quietly. Ben stood near the entrance of his workshop, sipping a cup of synthetic coffee. The sky above was the same dusty orange, filled with drifting sand and the hum of distant drones. But something had changed. Inside, Vera was awake. The Corel warrior had spent the night sitting perfectly still on the floor. Legs crossed, armor pieces beside her. She didn't ask for a bed. She didn't move much. She had simply watched the door, the shadows, and Ben. Ben walked in and smiled politely. "Sleep well." "I do not sleep during recovery," she replied. He gave a small chuckle. "Right, warrior thing?" She tilted her head slightly. "Mindful stillness sharpens the spirit." "Sounds like meditation," Ben said, sitting at his workbench. "Humans do that too. Some of us anyway." "I just sleep and hope I wake up better." Vera did not laugh, but she nodded, as if understanding. The armor was halfway repaired. The outer plates were solid now, but the energy core inside still flickered. Vera couldn't return to duty until it was stable. Ben had never seen Corel tech up close, but he was learning fast. The energy veins inside the armor were unlike anything human alive in a way, pulsing with color and thought. He grabbed a small plasma cutter and turned to her. "I need to open this panel. There's a secondary regulator behind it." She gave a single nod, trusting him again. As Ben worked, he spoke casually. "So, Vera, you said that whole 'I'll protect you' thing last night. What exactly does that mean?" She watched him closely. "Restored my armor. You saved my status as a warrior. My vow is clear. Defend your life as my own until the bond is balanced." Ben blinked. "Balanced? Until I save your life in return." He paused. "Let's hope it doesn't come to that." Vera didn't reply. Her face was unreadable. By noon, armor's core was back online. A low hum filled the room as Ben connected the final wire. The energy veins glowed steady and soft like quiet lightning. Vera stood and moved toward it slowly, like reuniting with an old friend. She picked up a shoulder piece and locked it in place. The armor responded instantly, syncing with her movement. "It knows me again," she whispered. Ben stepped back. "I rerouted the energy flow through a human capacitor. It should hold up better now, even under strain." Vera tested the servos in her arms and legs, smooth, silent, strong. "Your tools are strange," she said, "but effective." Ben grinned. "Thanks. I built half of them myself. Most people on this outpost don't think much of engineers, but I like making things work." She glanced at him. "It's making things whole again." He nodded. They sat together. In silence for a while, Vera began to inspect her gear, wiping it down, adjusting straps. Ben returned to his workbench and started organizing tools. But the silence between them wasn't cold. It was calm. After a while, Ben spoke.
"Why were
you out there alone? The patrol, was it attacked?" Vera's voice dropped. "Ambushed? 4 of us? The others did not survive." Ben looked at her. I'm sorry. I fought until my blade shattered. Then I ran. I did not flee from fear, but from duty. To warn others? She nodded slowly. Yes, but my ship was damaged. I could not make it far. Ben hesitated. Do you feel guilt? She didn't answer right away. I do, she said finally. A Corel warrior must protect the weak. My team depended on me. I survived. Because of luck, not honor. Ben stood and walked over. Vera, sometimes surviving is the most honorable thing you can do. You lived so you could warn others, or help others. Like me. She looked at him. I owe you my life. You don't, Ben said gently. You were already strong. I just gave you a second chance. Soft beeping came from Ben's wall terminal. He tapped the screen. Incoming message transmission from Corel Sector 8. He looked at Vera. Someone's trying to reach you. She stood quickly. Open it, Ben. Pressed the button, and a small projection lit the room. A Corel warrior appeared, bloodied, limping, standing in a smoky battlefield. This is Commander Relin to any surviving patrol units. We are pinned near Sector 8. Enemy forces unknown, fast, heavily armed. Request immediate support. Repeat. Request the signal cut off and static. Vera's jaw tightened. They're alive, some of them. Ben looked at her armor. It's ready, you can go. She didn't move. He frowned. What's wrong? I made a vow, she said quietly. I cannot leave you unprotected. Ben stared at her. Vera, I'm safe. This outpost is sealed. Go help your people. She didn't speak, so he stepped closer. You said your vow ends when you save my life, right? Yes, then do it, Ben said. Protect me by protecting them, because if that enemy spreads, no one will be safe. For a long second, Vera stared at him. Then slowly she nodded. She picked up her helmet, placed it on her head, and her armor hissed as it sealed. I will return, she said. I'll be here, Ben replied. Vera stepped outside. The sun caught the edges of her armor newly repaired, shining under the sandstorm skies. Her ship had just enough power left to fly. Ben watched from the roof as she climbed in. The engine roared to life. As she lifted off, she looked down at him one last time. Then the ship vanished into the clouds. Inside, Ben sat at his workbench again. The room was quiet without her. He looked. At the spot where she had knelt the night before, she had come in broken. Now, she flew out like a storm. He smiled softly. I'll hold down the fort, he said to himself. You go be the sword. The sky over Sector 8 was filled with smoke and fire. Vera flew fast through the storm, her ship barely holding together. The repaired armor hugged her like a second skin, every part smooth and strong again. Her body still ached from old wounds. But her focus was sharp. Down below, the Corel squad was surrounded. Vera's ship dove toward the battlefield. Energy blasts flashed across the sand. Strange machines, thin and fast, like insects made of metal, moved between rocks, firing at the Corel warriors who were pinned behind broken vehicles. Vera didn't hesitate. She leaped from the ship. Before it touched ground, her armor absorbed the shock as she landed, knees hitting the dirt. She rolled forward and rose in one motion, drawing her blade newly sharpened and now powered by Ben's human energy core. It hummed with quiet strength. The enemy machines turned toward her. She charged. Ben watched the skies from Outpost 17. A small dot had vanished into the clouds an hour ago. That dot was Vera. He hadn't moved from his roof. He didn't know why he felt worried. She was a trained warrior, one of the best of her kind, and her armor he had fixed every inch of it. With care, still something in his chest felt heavy. He returned to his workshop and looked at the table. Tools were still scattered. Her helmet's old cracked piece was still there. It's like a broken memory. He reached for it and began cleaning it, maybe to distract himself. Maybe just to feel closer to the moment, she said. I'll protect you. On the battlefield, Vera fought like a storm. Her blade danced in the air, clean, focused, precise. The enemy machines were fast, but they weren't ready for her speed. Her armor's new joints moved smoother than ever. The added human stabilizer kept her balanced even on uneven ground. She cut down too, and spun to block a blast meant for a wounded Corel behind her. The younger warrior looked up, shocked. "Vera?" "No." She nodded once. "Stay down. I'll handle this." Another machine came at her, leaping through the air. Claws outstretched, she slashed it mid-dash air. It fell in pieces. Soon, the enemy forces began to retreat. What remained of the Corel squad gathered behind her, wounded but alive. "Commander." Roland limped forward, leaning on a broken staff. "You came alone," he said, voice rough. Vera nodded. No one else was close enough. Roland looked at her armor different now, slightly unfamiliar. "This isn't standard Corel design." "No," she said. "A human repaired it." The commander raised an eyebrow. "A human." Vera stood. "Tall. He saved me. He restored my strength. He made this possible." There was silence. Then Relin gave a small, respectful bow. "Then this human has done more for us than many warriors." Back at Outpost 17, night fell. Ben was working on a small drone when he heard footsteps outside. He stood up quickly, stepping to the door. There she was. Vera walked in, armor scratched but whole, eyes steady. "You're back," Ben said, relief. In his voice, "I said I would return," she replied calmly. He smiled, stepping aside. "Get in here before the wind buries the whole place." She entered, sat down, and removed her helmet. Ben could tell she was tired but also proud. "Did it work?" he asked. "Yes, the squad survived. The enemy fled." Ben nodded slowly. "Good you saved them." Era looked at him, eyes serious. "Then the bond is balanced." He blinked. "What?" "I saved your life through saving theirs. The danger that threatened them would have reached this outpost next." Ben looked at her for a moment. He understood what she meant. But something inside him didn't feel right. "You can leave now, can't you?" he asked. She nodded. He forced a smile. "Well, it was good working with you." Vera stood and looked around the room. Her gaze paused on the table where the cracked armor piece lay, now polished and clean. "You fixed more than my armor," she said. Ben looked up. "What do you mean? I came here broken, not just in body, but in spirit. I thought I had lost my honor." "You didn't just repair my gear. You gave me purpose again." Ben didn't know what to say. Then she stepped closer. "And I don't want to leave." He looked at her, eyes wide. "You don't. I have fulfilled my vow. I choose to stay, not by duty, by will." Ben smiled slowly. "Well, I wouldn't mind the company." She nodded then. "We stay." Outside, the desert winds howled as they always did. But inside the workshop, there was a different kind of silence. A peaceful one. Two lives, once strangers, now connected by sparks, steel, and a single promise. "I'll protect you." Ben never expected life on Outpost 17 to change. It used to be slow, dusty, and quiet. But now, with Vera around, everything felt different. Her presence brought purpose not just for her, but for him too. She didn't speak much. Our warriors were naturally quiet, but her actions spoke louder. She helped around the outpost, trained every morning at sunrise, and even fixed a few damaged defense units outside the walls. She was learning human tools fast. Ben was impressed. She wasn't just a fighter. She was smart. One day, while tuning a small drone together, Ben asked, "So what now? You staying for long?" Vera didn't answer immediately. Finally, she said, "As long as I am needed." Ben smiled, though a part of him hoped she'd stay even without a reason. 3 days later, trouble came again. A transmission arrived from Corel Command. The enemy machines that attacked Sector 8 had returned, this time stronger, smarter, and faster. They were no longer just attacking Corel squads. They had started moving toward neutral zones, including Outpost 17. Ben read the message twice, then looked at Vera. "They're coming here." Vera nodded. "Then we will fight." Ben stood quietly for a moment. You mean you will fight, right? She tilted her head. You built the tools. You understand their systems better than most Corel engineers. You belong in the defense team. Ben laughed nervously. I'm not a fighter. She stepped closer. You don't have to fight. Just help us fight smarter. That evening, a small Corel unit arrived at the outpost. They had been sent to reinforce the area. Commander Narek, a sharp-eyed leader with a deep scar across his face, led the team. He was not impressed when he met Ben. This is the human who repaired your armor? Narek asked Vera. Yes, she replied. Narek frowned. He's not even a soldier. Ben raised an eyebrow. That's true. But your armor didn't seem to care. Vera gave a small nod of approval. Narek didn't respond, but he didn't argue again. Ben quickly noticed something important. The Corel armor on the rest of the unit was older, less responsive, and full of weak points. Their energy shields were out of sync. The machines would tear through them, so he stepped up. I can make your armor better, he told Narek. Faster response, stronger shields. Human systems can help. Narek hesitated, then finally said, Prove it. The next 2 days were busy. Ben worked around the clock with Vera's help. He upgraded the Corel suits using human converters and rerouted energy through multi-core links. He added micro-sensor layers that could detect motion through walls. The warriors were unsure at first, but when they tested the new armor, their reactions changed. It moves with me, one said. I can feel incoming fire, said another. Even Commander Narek gave Ben a silent nod of respect. The night before the enemy was expected to arrive, Vera and Ben stood outside the outpost wall. Looking at the stars? Are you afraid? She asked. Ben thought for a second. Yeah, a little, she nodded. Fear means you care. That's good. Ben looked at her. Are you afraid? Vera looked at the horizon. I used to be. After I failed my last team, I thought I had lost everything, but now I am not alone. Ben smiled gently. No, you're not. The next day, the sky changed. Black smoke rose in the distance. The machines had arrived. They came in waves, small insect-like bots at first, then larger walkers with mounted cannons. They moved fast, crawling over rocks and sand like spiders. Their goal was clear: destroy everything in their path. Ben stayed at the command center, monitoring their patterns through drone feeds. He fed real-time data to Vera and the Corel fighters, 2 units flanking from the south. He shouted into the com. Intercepting now, Vera's voice replied. On the battlefield, she moved like a storm. Her blade, powered by human energy and Corel strength, sliced through machine limbs. Her armor reflected blasts that would have killed others. She wasn't fighting alone. The rest of the Corel unit moved with her, their improved suits allowing them to dodge, strike. The battlefield outside Outpost 17 was covered in black smoke, metal pieces, and silence. The enemy machines had retreated, but at a cost. Ben sat in the outpost's control room, eyes fixed on the monitor, still watching for movement. His hands were shaking slightly, the tension of the battle still holding his body tight. Around him, broken screens sparked and drone systems blinked with low battery warnings. Then, through the dust-filled air, a signal blinked on the screen. ID. VIRA status. Alive, he exhaled in relief. Moments later, the door slid open. Vera stepped in. Her armor was burned in several places. There were cuts on her cheek and arms, and one of her gauntlets was cracked down the side. But she was standing, her shoulders straight, her expression calm. Ben ran up to her. You're okay? She nodded once. The enemy's gone. Now, you didn't even stop to rest. I came to report first. Ben gave a tired smile. Of course you did. That night, the remaining Corel warriors gathered around a fire built from broken machine parts. It wasn't part of their tradition, but Vera insisted it helped the human feel more comfortable. For the first time, the warriors sat quietly, not in silence, but in peace. Commander Narek approached Ben. You are not a fighter, he said, but today, we owe you victory. Ben raised his eyebrows. Really? I just sat behind a screen. You rebuilt our armor? You gave us strength we did not have before. That is a kind of warrior. Ben blinked. I appreciate that. Vera, sitting beside him, added, among my people, someone who gives power to warriors is called an honor maker. Narek nodded. Yes, and now, that is what you are. The other Corel warriors gave a slow nod of respect. Ben didn't know what to say. He had never wanted to be called anything special. But the warmth in their eyes felt real. The next day, Vera remained in the workshop while the others returned to their ships. She cleaned her armor, piece by piece, carefully fitting each part into its place again. The armor had held up well even through fire and damage. The human modifications had saved her life more than once. Ben watched her from across the room. You could return to your command post, he said. I could, she replied, but you're not. No. Ben smiled slightly. You still think I need protecting? Vera placed a hand over her chest where her armor bore a faint symbol one Ben had added with a laser tool. It was a small mark that looked like two circles joined together human. In Corel, I do not stay for duty, she said. I stay because I choose to. Ben looked down at his tools. Do you think your people will accept that? Vera replied calmly. They already have. You are now recognized as part of our honor chain. It means you are respected, not just by me, but by my kind. Ben laughed a little. Me? A dusty outpost mechanic? Respected by warriors? Vera looked at him firmly. You earned it. Later. That afternoon, a high-ranking Corel official arrived from the capital fleet. His name was General Theron, a tall, stone-faced leader with dark red armor. He walked into the workshop without a word, examined Vera's armor, then turned to Ben. You are the human who changed our warrior tech, he said. Ben nodded slowly. Yes, but I didn't mean to change it. I only wanted to fix it. General raised a hand. You didn't just fix it, you improved it. He looked at Vera. She has filed a full report. Yes. Your design saved her team. You may not be Corel, but you have done something rare. Vera stood at attention beside Ben, silent but proud. General Theron continued, Our engineers will study your upgrades. But more importantly, we want you to join us, not as a soldier, but as an engineer, a builder of shields. Ben blinked. Is that an official title? It is rare, the general said. Given only to those whose creations protect. Lives. Ben looked at Vera. She gave him the smallest nod, encouraging him. I'd be honored, he said. That night, the workshop felt different, quieter, more meaningful. Ben sat on his usual stool, watching as Vera sharpened her blade. The light from the ceiling flickered softly, casting long shadows across the floor. So, he said, I'm part of the Corel now, huh? You are, Vera replied without looking up. And not just because of your tools, but because of your heart. Ben looked at her closely. You really believe that? Yes, she said simply. In battle, we trust our armor. But it is not the steel that saves us. It's the one who shapes it. Ben let those words settle. Then he said, I was just trying to help. I didn't expect all this. Help, Vera said, is the beginning of every great story. Ben smiled, and I guess ours is just getting started. The sun was just rising over Outpost 17, painting the sky in soft oranges and pinks. Ben stood outside the workshop, watching as Vera paced near the gate. Her armor gleamed in the morning light, the human upgrades shining alongside the Corel. Design. Something's wrong, she said, without looking at him. Ben frowned. What do you mean, enemies are moving closer? Your signals grow stronger. They want what you built. Ben looked toward the distant horizon where dust clouds stirred. Do you think they'll attack? Ivor's expression was serious. Soon, inside the workshop, Ben checked the equipment and armor units. He was building new shields and repairing the damaged pieces from the last fight. Each piece was a mix of human technology and Corel craftsmanship, the human energy. Cores he'd integrated with the alien armor made them lighter and stronger. His motion sensors gave warriors better awareness. The new shields absorbed more damage than old Corel designs, but Ben knew none of it would matter if the outpost fell. That afternoon, the alarm sounded. Ben rushed outside to find Vera standing, tall at the gate, her blade drawn and shield glowing faintly. Behind her, Corel warriors prepared their weapons. Ben's heart raced. "Stay behind me," Vera said. Ben nodded. "I'll do my best." The enemy came fast. Skimmers sped across the dunes, followed by heavily armored foot soldiers wielding strange weapons. Their leader wore dark armor, unlike anything Ben had seen. Vera stepped forward. Blocking their path, "I won't let you pass," she said. The enemy leader laughed. "You're just one woman, alien. Cannot stop us." Vera didn't reply. She charged. The battle was fierce. Vera's upgraded armor held strong as she blocked attacks with her shield and struck back with precise, powerful blows. Her movements were swift and graceful. A dance of strength and skill. Ben watched from behind cover, using a handheld device to boost the outpost's defenses and send signals for help. Despite the enemy's numbers, it couldn't break through. As the fight dragged on, Ben noticed the enemy leader aiming at Vera with a heavy energy rifle. "Vera," he shouted. She turned just in time to raise her shield, the blast hitting with a loud crack, but no damage. Seeing her shield withstand the attack, the enemy hesitated. Ben seized the moment and sent a strong pulse through the outpost's energy grid, activating hidden turrets that fired on the enemy skimmers. The tide turned. The enemy soldiers faltered as the turrets hit their vehicles. Forcing them to retreat, Vera pressed the attack, cutting through the enemy lines. When the last skimmer exploded in the distance, the outpost was safe. After the battle, Vera returned to Ben's side, breathing hard but smiling. "You did well?" She said. "So did you," Ben replied. They looked at each other, understanding that together they had become stronger. That night, as the stars shone bright, Ben and Vera sat outside the outpost, as the desert calm around them. Vera said softly, "I swore to protect you, but today, you protected us all." Ben smiled. "We protect each other." The bond had grown deeper, forged in battle and trust. The first light of dawn stretched over Outpost 17, casting long shadows on the sand. The battle had ended, but the quiet felt different now, full of promise, not fear. Ben stood near the gate, watching the sky. His hands were steady, his heart lighter. Beside him, Vera tightened the straps on her armor, the human and Corel symbols shining together. "Today feels different," Ben said. Vera nodded. "It is a new beginning." The last weeks had changed everything. The outpost was no longer just a forgotten outpost. It was a symbol of hope, a place where two worlds met, and something stronger grew. Ben had been invited to join the Corel engineers. Together, they worked on building better armor and defenses. His ideas were accepted, respected, and even celebrated one afternoon while working on a new shield design. Ben noticed Vera watching him quietly. "You've changed a lot," she said softly. He smiled. "So have you?" She looked out toward the horizon, where the twin suns dipped low. "I used to think strength came only from the body," she said. "But I've learned it also comes from trust and friendship." Ben nodded. "I never thought I'd find a friend like you, an alien warrior." Her eyes met his. "And I never thought I'd have a human who saved me and earned my vow." That evening, the Corel warriors held a ceremony beneath the stars. They gathered in a circle, their voices rising in song, old and powerful. Ben stood with Vera at the center. The general approached him, holding a small, glowing emblem, the symbol of the honor maker. With respect, he pinned it on Ben's chest. "You are no longer just a human mechanic," the general said. "We're one of us, a protector, a friend, and a maker of honor." Ben felt a warmth spread through him. After the ceremony, Vera took Ben's hand. "Will you stay?" she asked. Ben looked at the outpost, their new home, their future. "I will. We'll build a new world," Vera said. Together, as the twin suns set, Ben and Vera stood side by side. Watching the stars come alive, they didn't need words. Their bond forged in broken armor. battle, and trust said everything. Together, they faced the future, stronger than ever.